YouTube, how's it going? What is going on, Washington football fans? Another video coming at you from Washington Football Report. This is JD. We're going to dive right into this. So, I actually made a video last week, but it was very long-winded, and I got on a rant about LeBron James, so I'm not going to post that. And I'm just going to talk about the main crux of that thing. I summed up our mini camp in June, and like what I've heard and what I've heard from reporters. But really, like, the main crux of it was talking about Taylor Heinike and the Ryan Fitzpatrick situation. But I decided just to like redo that and just talk about Taylor Heinike and Ryan Fitzpatrick. So the mini camp that they had, the OTAs, I've heard a lot of things from reporters. A lot of reporters say that Taylor Heinike was just lighting it up, to put it nicely. Taylor Heinike was lighting it up. He looked like the best quarterback out there pretty much all the time. Now, take that with a grain of salt. You got a bunch of media guys that are just probably going to watch highlights or probably going to mention highlights. And Taylor Heineke is also playing against the second string. So keep that in mind as well. But there's a lot of buzz about it. There's a lot of buzz. There's a lot of things people have been saying. A lot of reporters, a lot of analysts, whatever, been talking about Taylor Heineke. And there's been some articles come out say, is there a QB controversy in Washington? I don't really think there's a QB controversy unless, Fitzpatrick does so bad that they have to play Taylor Heineke and start the season. We'll see in preseason. It's going to give us a little bit more of a telling answer to the kind of the questions we have right now. But I honestly think that a lot of things Ron Rivera has done over the past year. Now, this guy's hard to read because 1 minute we're looking for this, next minute we're not, next minute we're looking for this. He's just a hard guy to read, and he really holds a lot of cards to his chest. I think Ron Rivera, and I've started to become this more and more as we watch Taylor Heineke progress. I think Taylor Heineke, Ron wants him to be the next franchise quarterback for Washington, at least for a couple of years. And the reason why I think that is, one, Ron signed him for a 2-year deal. He signed Fitzpatrick for a 1-year deal, and Fitzpatrick could have easily signed a more than 1 year deal with Washington, just to make sure that we have a quarterback after Ryan Fitzpatrick has done this year. And let's look at it this way: Ron has seen him play in 2 games. In the 2 games, the last 8 minutes against Carolina, played well, got a touchdown, probably got 2. And then the 1 game he played in the playoffs, where actually the only game he's ever started, he played very well in the playoffs. He played fantastic. He's the only team that really gave the Buccaneers defense a hard time, so to speak. So maybe Ron's thinking, I think what Ron was thinking is like, hey, we might have our QB here, and then they got Ryan Fitzpatrick to hold it down for a year while they get him healthy, train him up, whatever case may be. And then next year he'll step in with the last year in his contract and start playing as franchise quarterback, and then we go forward with him after 1 year as him as a starter. So what I think Ron wants to do, I don't think Ron ever wanted, like, there's a lot of telling signs in this. One, let's not even talk about the draft yet. Let's talk about what Ron did in the offseason. Okay, he went after quarterbacks in the offseason. He went after Matt Stafford. He had a first and a third on the table to get Matt Stafford. He's got outbidded. Okay, there's rumors that he called and asked about Jared Goff. He called and asked about Derek Carr, Marcus Mariota. He also called about Sam Darnold. So he went after a lot of quarterbacks. He went after a great deal of quarterbacks for the potential, just so that he wouldn't have to draft a rookie. Then look at the draft. If there was ever a draft to draft a rookie for Washington, it's going to be this year. Because if you think about it, I think Washington's going to be better this year than they were last year. We were 7-9 last year. Probably could have swept the division with maybe Taylor Heineke starting 1 game or something like that. Just one little mistake here or there, and the game could have gone either one non-mistake here or there, and the game could have easily flown our direction. And we basically ran away with our division, with the best defense and a horrible offense. Now we're gonna have a decent offense and the best defense. So I think Washington's gonna do a lot better this year than they did last year. I really do think that we're not going to play 5 quarterbacks like we did last year, or 4 quarterbacks, whatever it was. We're not going to be playing quarterbacks left and right. We're playing, 1 quarterback for most of the season, then we might switch to 1, and we're going to be a lot better. And Washington's going to have a lower draft pick in the first round. It's going to be, instead of being 19, we're going to be like 25th or something like that, or 26th. So it's going to be harder for us to trade up and get a quarterback then. This year was the best year to do that. There were 5 quarterbacks in the first round. I actually think 6 if you count Kyle Trask could have been in the second round. But 5 quarterbacks could have been gotten in the first round, and Washington had the capital. They would have to give a lot to get up and get Zach Wilson or something. But it was there. The possibility was there. They could have traded up and gotten Justin Fields at 10, or jumped them and got Justin Fields at 9. They wanted to. They could have drafted Mac Jones, which Mac Jones. It's funny because a lot of people were making fun of how he looked. He looks just like Brady, but in training camp there's a video of Cam Newton can't hit a receiver to save his life, and then Mac Jones is just pinpoint accuracy across the board. It's actually, I would say it's funny, but it's just kind of comical because a lot of people say, well, we should have got Cam Newton, he's accurate. No, he's not. He's not accurate at all, and he might not even start this year. He's going to be beat out by a rookie. It's so funny. But if you add up all this stuff, Ron doesn't want a rookie. Maybe after a couple years, maybe after like 6 or 7 years, and the defense we have, the guys get older, and we have to rebuild and reset everything. Yeah, he might go after a young quarterback then, but I don't think Ron is going to wants to do that now. He's got a team, a defense now that can win, an offensive line that's good enough. It's top 10. He's got the receivers he added for whatever quarterback we have is going to be amazing. Just look at it now. Last year we started the year. First game of the season, we had Terry McLaurin, an unknown tight end, and Logan Thomas. We didn't know what he was. He didn't really come along until later in the season anyway. Then if you look at our receiving core, we started the season with Dontrell Inman, okay, Cam Sims, Steven Sims, and Isaiah Wright. Those are the 5 receivers we started this season with last year. We had Harmon was injured, so we didn't have Kelvin Harmon. And Antonio Gandy-Golden hurt himself. Kept getting injured last year. Kept getting nicked up. And he didn't really have an off season to kind of showcase or improve or anything like that from the time we drafted him then. So basically, we drafted him and played him. So he wasn't really that helpful either. And then we had an unproven running back in Gibson. And yeah, we had Haskins last year too. But basically what I'm getting at is we didn't have the weapons for, even if we had a good quarterback, it would have been difficult for him to be good. So right now, this season, I'm trying to make sure it doesn't lock out on me. So now, we have 3 really good receivers just to start out the gate. When Cam Sims is your second best receiver, that's kind of sad. But when he's your 4th best receiver, I think you're going to do a little bit better now. So I don't think he's our 4th best. I think there's a couple other better ones, but I think he's earned a spot on this roster just because of the way he played last year, how he stepped it up. He made some amazing catches. So this year we're starting out with Terry McLaurin, Curtis Samuel. Both of them are on a 4.440. De'Ami Brown is the 3rd one, 4.440. And then we got maybe Humphreys would be our 4th best, and then you're looking at Cam Sims. And then you go after that, and you got Draxton Milne, a couple other players. So there's options this year, and you got you do have Logan Thomas, but you also have John Bates. So the quarterback this year we're going to be a lot better offensively. And like I said, Ron has all this stuff in place where all you do is plug in a quarterback, and all of a sudden we're contenders. There was rumors that Aaron Rodgers was available. There's rumors that Aaron Rodgers wanted to get traded. If he just became a free agent, Washington signed him, they're a Super Bowl contender right now. They literally are a Super Bowl contender. It is them and Tampa in the NFC. There's not even a debate. That's not a debate right now. I would hard pressed to find anyone that's going to find a better team top to bottom than Washington if you have Aaron Rodgers to it. Okay? I'd be surprised if we find a better team if we were able to add Matt Stafford. So, and like I said, Ron does not want a rookie. He does not want a young quarterback. And because I think he has too good of a team now to make that team wait till the quarterback develops. And that's what the issue is. I think he thinks he can do it kind of like in 1 year with Taylor. That's why Taylor Heinike is on this roster. That's why Taylor Heinike is in the position he's in. Taylor Heinike has a year basically, I guess, to get healthy, maybe bulk up a little bit to prevent himself from getting injured, because Ron wants him to be the quarterback that can play and get us through while we are in this peak era for our defense and offensive line, things like that. And probably going forward too, because soon we're going to have to pay all the offensive line. Like we have Jonathan Allen's getting paid this year. We got John Payne, I think, next year. You have Montez Sweat. You have Terry McLaurin. You have a lot of players that got to get paid. And I think what Ron's thought process, either we get a quarterback late in the draft and that person plugs in and plays, or they look at Taylor Heinike as like, you know what, this guy could really do some things. Let's lock this guy down long term, and we can still build the rest of the team around him, because we're not going to spend $50 million or $40 million a year on Taylor Heinike. So that's what my thought process is, and I think that's what Ron's doing as well. Because Taylor Heinike is a couple things. One, he's a gamer. In the 2 games he played fantastic. I mean, one was the game was kind of a foregone conclusion, but he did bring us back into it, and he gave us a chance to actually come back and tie it up and go to overtime. The other game was kind of a surprise attack. The other team didn't know we were starting this guy, so they didn't prepare for him. So, but in both those games, he played well, and I think what it is, Ron's like, you know what, he knows the system. Ron has a loyalty to people who know the system. Kyle Allen will be a backup forever in the NFL because he knows he knows the system, and that's why Ron likes him. He knows the system. He doesn't have to worry about him knowing or not knowing what the play is going to do. And I think Taylor Heinike has that same advantage over Fitzpatrick. I think Taylor Heinike knows the offense intimately, like the back of his hand, really well, and he could step in and be the guy if need be. I think they're playing Ryan Fitzpatrick this year because I think they want to give Taylor Heinike a chance to actually be like healthy for a long period of time, develop, things like that. I think that's really what Ron wants. If he wanted the rookie quarterback, he would have drafted one. He wanted a veteran style quarterback. They did not have to coach up. That can start playing immediately. You don't have to wait years for him to develop. You literally have. He might even play this year. I mean, we don't know. You know, Fitzpatrick's all over the place. And as much as I've heard some good things, like I just watched a video by Street Scores. Recommend you go check him out if you're a Washington fan. Where he's going in depth about his next level analytics, how he's like one of the most accurate quarterbacks when pressured, one of the most accurate quarterbacks in the clutch. So our buddies also, Fitzpatrick's numbers show he throws the ball away, turns the ball over a lot. So you can't always trust those analytics. Football's tricky like that because you can have good analytics in football. Kirk Cousins has great analytics in football, but can't win football games. Okay, that's one of the issues I have with him. He'll end the game with like 300 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and everyone like will jerk off to that. Like, oh, that's so great, but you also didn't win the game, and you got a lot of those things in garbage time. So it's great, but it's not in the same breath. Kirk was very horrible about that, and he considered that, hey, I'm successful because I'm doing this. And I'm like, and a lot of people, including myself, were just like, no, that's just not the case, man. You're successful in spite of that. Okay, you're using analytics to boost yourself up, and he's made a lot of money doing that. So I'm not going to discredit the guy. But that's why, as a quarterback, I personally like Kirk, because he literally would just like he knew the analytics side, and I think he would push the analytics side. And he knew analytically how he would make himself look good. So yeah. Off topic there for a little bit. But my point is, I think Ron's grooming Taylor Heinike to be a franchise quarterback and a long-term solution at quarterback for Washington. When I say long-term, I don't mean like 20 years. I mean like maybe 5 years. Just to kind of bridge that gap between like everyone costing a lot of money. So that's pretty much my video. One thing I want for watching. If you agree with me, comment down below. If you disagree with me, comment down below. What do you think the future quarterback situation will be in Washington? Ryan Fitzpatrick is 39 years old. So I mean, he could be a quarterback for like Tom Brady was, like is for like next 3 or 4 years. It's definitely possible. I thought that was more likely the case if we got Matt Stafford. We'd get Matt Stafford for a good 5-6 years. But when it comes to Ron Fitzpatrick, he's 39. So he's 39 years old, and I think he's a one and done. This is me personally. Maybe we'll keep him on if he has a decent season as a backup, if the money's right. But I really don't think he's a long-term solution. I think Taylor Heinike is being groomed as one, and maybe Kyle Allen will be our backup. I have no clue. But let me know what you think in the comment section down below. What do you think Washington's going to do long-term at the quarterback position? I've given my opinion. Let me hear yours. This is the Washington Football Report. This is JD. Hail to the Redskins. See ya.